Alright, you might have heard of Samsung's Galaxy X, the company's basically confirmed foldable smartphone. Well, it turns out we think we know what it is, and it's not good news. When we looked at the original patents about a year ago, most people thought this phone was going to be a unibody smartphone with a fold in the middle. Samsung would be using a bendable display combined with artificial muscle fibers to allow the body to bend with it. And whilst it's very possible that a device like this is somewhere in the works, the soon-to-be coming Galaxy X is apparently something a little bit different. At CES 2018, Samsung reportedly gave a select few people a behind-the-curtains look at one of their early concepts, and in doing this, described how it would work. There would be not one, not two, but three OLED displays on the phone. And just for a second, almost looking past what that's going to do to your battery life, if you pay attention to what has actually been said here, something doesn't add up. From Forbes, the size of each panel is about 3.5 inches. The front of the product is equipped with two 3.5-inch panels to create a 7-inch screen. The rear panel is equipped with a 3.5-inch panel so that the screen can be checked even when the product is folded. Right, there are three issues here. The way this is being described is, you have one 3.5-inch display on its own, to use when the phone is folded up, and then inside, you've got two 3.5-inch displays, which are going to join together to make a 7-inch display. The first problem though is that putting together two 3.5-inch displays doesn't make a 7-inch one. Displays are measured diagonally, and what this means is that a screen that has twice the diagonal length is approximately 4 times the size. So, this is going to have one of two implications. That we actually do have 3.5-inch panels on here, which would mean that in tablet mode, where we've got two of these together, a screen size of about 5 inches, which is smaller than most phones. This wouldn't make it completely useless. It would enable you to have a normal sized screen in a mini-sized phone form factor. But what would make more sense is the alternative, which is that the 3.5-inch measurement is in fact a horizontal dimension, not a diagonal one, which might mean that in reality we have maybe a 5-inch or so screen, which then folds out to become a 7-inch display. So fingers crossed it's the second one, otherwise, to be honest, I can't see the viability of the device. The second thing is that it's unclear why you'd need a third display at all. If anything, one of the main points of having a flexible display is that you can flex it both ways, so that you'd be able to fold the tablet inside out effectively and just use half the screen. It would save a huge amount of cost, not to mention thickness, saving you putting an extra OLED panel in every single unit. Yet, this leak implies that that's not a possibility, that the display can only fold inwards and not outwards. The third, and again, slightly disappointing aspect to this leak is the fact that we need multiple displays at all. The way the phone was originally predicted to be, there would be one seamless screen. The fact that we are now talking about two separate displays joining together brings up terrifying images of the ZTE Axon M. And whilst it's likely there would be less of a dividing bezel on this phone, any even slight divide or non-continuity might still be enough to detract from immersion. Alright, but pushing all that to the side for a second, something else I wanted to talk about, something that was brought up a lot in the comment section of our last Galaxy X video, was why would the company bother? This is going to be a small-scale product, only sold in limited quantities, and it doesn't sound very profitable. And so yeah, it's a very valid question. Why would Samsung bother developing a product that they're not going to be directly profiting from? But the thing is, this is kind of how the tech industry works. When companies are designing a first-generation product like this, they would probably expect to make a loss. But there are still two reasons why they might want to do it. Brand image. As it turns out, both Huawei and Apple both have patents that somewhat overlap in this realm of foldable devices. And so being the first to something like this is obviously huge in terms of public perception of you being an innovative company that is at the top of their game. This is the way that news and media works now, and inevitably those that come later on will be considered as having copied whoever came first. And I guess the other thing which is really important for Samsung right now is to gather data, to test the waters. Because when Samsung does come round to releasing a mass-produced flexible device, they want to make sure it is as people would want it. So in a way, you could see this as a trial run, because data and surveys are one thing, but when you actually ask people to lay down their hard-earned cash on a product, they often tend to respond differently. And sometimes there's no better way of telling whether something is considered a good product apart from seeing whether people actually buy it. Alright guys, so that is the latest on the Samsung Galaxy X, and as we wait for more information on the phone, all we can really do is to cross our fingers and hope all of this is false. At the same time, a lot of this info is coming from reliable sources, and the Galaxy X was always going to be a niche device, so I guess we could have expected its appeal to be niche. Apart from that, it'd be interesting to know what you guys think to the phone. Assuming it has flagship specifications, what price would it have to be for you to consider buying one? Alright guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video as always, and if you're new to the channel, do consider subscribing, it would really help me out. With that being said, my name is Aaron, this is Mr. Who's the Boss, and I'll catch you guys next time.